Okay. So, I think the last time we left our intrepid heroes, what had happened was somebody had slipped while trying to adjust this head tube and had knocked it kind of over and yelled a bunch. Man, I wish that fucking thing would straighten out. 6460. Okay. But I spent a few minutes working extra hard on trying to get that gap tightened up. And I'll tell you guys, honestly, if you guys hadn't been here watching me, I would have let that slide with that big shitty gap in it. But honestly, I'm gonna lie if I say I don't want to try to impress you guys a little bit. Not a lot. If I wanted to impress you a lot, this is the wrong place. But a little bit anyway. I'm pretty pleased with that. It looks fairly uniform all the way around. I did give it a little scuffy with some red Scotch-Brite. I'm gonna double do everything now and wipe it all down and then kind of toss it back in there, so hold it, hang up. Okay, so a bit more fiddling, filing, fucking around. Let me get the bottom part of our seat post. The first part of I did some counting on it the other day, and I think there's gonna be, depending on if we choose whether or not to count the bottom bracket and the seat post collar, I think this seat post is gonna have between 6 and 8 pieces, depending on what we choose to count. So, I'm not gonna say it quite yet, but find me a seat post that has more than 6 pieces in it. Because if we can't find one, that means that I have the most pieces of any seat tube, which means I win. What we gotta do next actually is take this back off of here. I need to, before we do too much else, order of operations, before I can set the seat tube in here, I need to have the bottom, the down tube welded, at least from the back side there, where I won't be able to get to it, and I'll set this down and then weld the outside. So what I need to do is take this back out, tack the down tube everywhere, and then fully burn that back little bit of the fish mouth, that back little one of these pieces that's up against the bottom bracket, out past where that's going to sit. So I don't know if I feel like doing all of that today, truth be told. I'm a bit lazy. I'm more than a bit lazy. That may be a tomorrow project because it's dark and it's cold and that sucks. So, however, thank you guys very much for your patience, your understanding with that whole debacle. I honestly feel like most things, I've come out better for it. I feel like I'm better off now than I was when we started, and I screwed it up. So I do feel better about the way this all fits in here and looks and shit. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for, I don't know, stuff. Do you guys love the new rug? I don't know about you, but I think it really ties the room together.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
Okay, listen, I know what you're thinking. The fuck are we doing over here, and why is that seat tube piece sitting now on the bench and not in the jig like it was a few minutes ago when we left it? Well, I'll be honest. I came out this morning and decided I needed to weld all of this whole shit together before we tacked it in place there, because if it's going to be Twisted Sister, I'd rather it be a Twisted Sister. Whew, that was close. Out here on the bench. Then I can fit it in there and do a little bit less welding. I'm not trying to weld these whole seams all the way up once everything's in there, making it twisty and fucked off. So, but honestly, what happened there is I was in a shitty mood, and things went poorly, and it kept going poorly. So I quit. And then everything that I filmed, I deleted it because I was mad. And that's going to happen once in a while. It's happening less and less, but it's going to happen once in a while. And you know what? You don't pay nothing for any of this, so shut up. Here we are, seat post welding, take 2.
All right, I'm opening that trap now. Don't look directly into the trap.
So look at the trap, Ray. Seat post version 2. Video number, what are we at now for seat post videos? 54? 55? Who can say? Seat post welding video continued forever. Holy fuck, that one doesn't totally suck. I mean, it's not great, but it doesn't totally suck. If we can achieve doesn't totally suck, we're doing pretty fucking good. Yeah, but in my defense, I'm not a lot of fun when I'm not at parties either. Somebody ordered one good enough. One good enough coming up. Okie dokie. So look, I just took the flat file and just sort of whacked all those down sort of flat-ish. And that right there represents the total of the bodywork that you were getting out of me. Because I don't give a shit. If you hate that idea, write that down. When you make your bike, you can bodywork that 200mm section of misery. I'm not doing it because I don't give a shit. Okay, seat post version 2, part 438. We talked a few minutes. Can you see? You guys see up there okay? Can I get you something? You want a drink? A glass of water? Ovaltine? Okay, nothing is fine. Suit yourself. 500mm. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you'll have to take my word for it. Giraffe proportions win again. Okay, so bottom bracket cut, bottom bracket cut. Center that guy there. This guy. That guy's gonna go about like yay. And the guy about like yes. Huh? See where I'm going with this so far? I don't know if you guys can see. If you can't see, now's the time to say something. Okay. So now, I mean, right about 300 mils. What do you know? A 200mm center to center and a 300mm seat post adds up to your 500mm like we thought about in the first place. I swear to God, you guys are getting better at this math thing every time. So I need about 300 mils of 35mm tubing with a big old fish mouth at the end. Speaking of 35mm tubing, I've had this piece for quite a while now. This was originally going to be the down tube from the pink bike. You'll note it's got a big 15-degree bend in the end here. Andrew at Bike Fab Supply will do these for you too. Other than just sell you parts, he'll also bend tubing for you to your specs. And I had this one bent because this is like 700 and something millimeters. From the center of the bend to the center of the bottom bracket, it's enormous. I'm tall. Anyway, I didn't like the way it looked in the bike. I couldn't make it work anything. I thought about making like the bowling ball style Chromag down tube for something, and everything I try to do with it, it feels forced and it feels shitty, and I don't fucking like it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna eliminate this from consideration entirely. We're gonna cut up this $50 bent piece of awesomeness that I spent however many hours with the grinder and the sandpaper and just the tip, making it fit nicely. That's a whole, don't ask it, just forget you even saw that. Made it fit so nicely. And now I'm gonna take it outside, cut it into pieces and make straight tubing back out of it again. Huh? From straight tube to down tube, back to straight tube. That's how we do it here. Why buy $15 worth of tubing when 50 would do? Okay, I just stepped out for 2 minutes. I just wanted to show you guys something. These down here, these are where the dogs live at night. It's their little kennels with their little houses. They can go inside out. They've got their little front porches and stuff. I just cover all this shit up when I'm working out here so I don't get dirt and junk and grinding bits in it. But if you leave for 1 second and let that pit bull in, I literally went out, turned around, came back in. He's come through, forced his way through this pillow. I don't know if you guys can see him. But there's his little self. He came in and pushed his way in so he could be in his house. Hi, buddy. Are you in your house? Yes. Say hello to the people. That's a boy. Yeah. Good dog. You know, much better presenters than myself, when faced with the challenge of cutting a piece of metal or a piece of whatever, often do something that I really, really enjoy, where they cut it with something unlikely. You'll karate chop it, or you'll take something. You'll take something fun and like whack it with something, or you'll blow it up with an air hose. Something funny, something unlikely that does the job better than you would have anticipated. I've struggled with this here because I'm just simply not that funny. I think is really the problem, is I'm not very funny. Nor am I good looking, talented, good at building bikes. I'm not a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm also not very funny. So it does occur to me that the most unlikely thing that I could ever use to cut a piece of this tubing is actually just a really nice carbide tip chop saw. It's time for more of everyone's favorite awful noise and oil smell, brought to you by inconsistent lighting. Inconsistent lighting? Fucking really, dude, I can't see. God damn it. And bingo was his name-o. No, we're not setting any fucking speed records, but I don't hate that. Okie dokie. So, this piece that we took forever to make, one of them $50 down tube turned piece of straight tubing. There's our 500 millimeter mark. However, we get this chinga there's a key. This little guy here. This is also a slip-in weld-in seat collar from Mr. Andrew over at Bicycle Fabrication Supply. Nothing but love for them cats over there. So I'm gonna make a little quick marky mark in the funky bunch up here and see if I can set you all. Well, guys, that's not how that was supposed to work. You okay? Did you hurt yourself? It looked like you fucking went right under your face. You okay? Be more careful. There's shit all over the place around here. Trip and fall. My insurance is not going to cover trip and fall injuries. If I want to do this, remember that thing I said? If you're kind of stupid, make sure you mark what side you want to cut on if you're a dummy like I am. We're going to leave that line. Okay. I know I have a nice little deburring. Calm down. Got a nice little deburring tool somewhere, but I'll be goddamned if I can find it. So, $2 with a round file? I swear one of these days you guys are going to turn this on and we're not going to be working on a seat tube and you're not going to know what the hell to do with yourselves. Oh, here, just for all of you guys. There, just for those of you that get upset about that kind of shit. Now, here, something like a fox. Okay. What do we got here tonight, kids? Let's see. We get the Maitlands. What's happening? Does this look like? Hold the phone. This is the dumbest seat post I've ever seen in my life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 5 pieces. Actually, the bottom bracket in the middle there is actually 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces before we get into a seat tube collar or a bottom bracket. Most pieces of seat tube ever? Until somebody shows up with a 7-piece one, I'm going to say yes. Ha! Of course, haha, I just noticed I managed to cut that about a 1/4 inch too fucking short. Hey, whatever. Nobody's perfect, especially me. It's good enough for who it's for. Maybe I'll cut it again. It's too short, maybe I'll cut it again and see if it gets any longer. You think? You guys are no fucking fun at all, you know that?